In Afghanistan, where rescuers are struggling to reach villages and remote mountainous areas following the devastating earthquake that struck late on Sunday. The Taliban authorities now say more than 1,400 people have been killed, with at least 3,100 injured. Most of the deaths occurring in Kunar and Nangarhar provinces near the quake's epicenter. That's about 30 kilometers north of Jalalabad. The UN in Afghanistan has warned there's likely to be an exponential rise in casualty figures. Many survivors spending the night in the open after they had been pulled out of a mud and stone homes. You can see them here, built into steep valleys. Let's take you to our South Asia correspondent Azadeh Bashiri, who is monitoring developments for us from Islamabad. Azadeh, we see the death toll now rising, the amount of injured going up as well, and this was to be expected. But what are you hearing from inside Afghanistan?
Well, so that death toll is from the Taliban government. The United Nations and other aid groups are also trying to report on what the death toll is and what the casualty count is. The last we heard from the United Nations was that 800 were killed, according to their preliminary reports. All of this is partly this confusion and some of the numbers shifting is because these areas are so remote. They're mountainous regions, difficult to access and also difficult to get information out. Also, in Afghanistan, once people are killed, they're buried very quickly, and so not only is it difficult to get to those areas, but these bodies don't always make it to the nearest main hospital in Jalalabad, and therefore the casualty count doesn't always reveal the scale of the crisis that is going on there in Afghanistan. What the Taliban government has been insisting on is that they need international support. They need aid, and what we've heard so far is that several countries have pledged aid donations. Those include China, Switzerland, India has donated 1,000 tents. The United Kingdom has pledged £1 million in emergency funding that they've stressed is going through partners like the International Rescue Committee. And so it's worth saying that this is money is flowing in, but it's a complicated operation, and aid workers are warning they're not sure it's enough.
An urgent, overwhelming crisis. Officials worry many are still trapped. Rescuers struggle to reach everyone in need in these mountainous regions. Landslides have blocked off roads to the worst-hit places. Most homes were made of stone, mud and clay. Many are now flattened.
5 people were killed in this house and another 3 in the other house in the back. All were found, but 1 boy and 1 girl are still missing.
Medical teams say they're overwhelmed by the scale of the disaster. Filming women has been restricted, but men, women and children are part of the casualties. Thousands are believed injured.
It was dark. There was no light. Someone lent me a lamp, and then I used a shovel and a pickaxe to dig them out. There was no one to help because everyone was affected. So many people died in my village. Some are still buried. Whole families have died.
Afghanistan has already been dealing with severe drought, aid cuts and hunger, according to the World Food Programme. Afghans have woken up to another day where they must search through the rubble for those killed. Multiple countries have pledged aid donations. But relief groups have warned it still may not be enough, as the country struggles with yet another crisis.
Now, Afghanistan has been here before. It sits on a number of fault lines. In 2023, a series of quakes killed more than 1,400 people. But that doesn't mean that it has the resources to respond to this crisis. It's a day later, and they still are searching for the missing, still struggling to reach those in need. And that's why they're calling for help. But of course, it's a complicated political situation on the ground.
Azadeh, thank you so much. Well, one of our reporters has been at a hospital in Jalalabad, that's the main city in the region, 27 kilometres away from the epicenter of the quake, and has spoken to both a doctor but also to an injured woman about what happened.
Today, around 15 patients were brought to us. Along with their injuries, many of them were pregnant and had obstetric complications and trauma. Some of them had head injuries, others had spinal or other body parts. 7 or 8 underwent surgery. One had a fractured leg, another had a broken back. We provided first aid and ultrasound support. The biggest challenge here is poverty. Many were trapped under debris, and since there were no female rescue workers, men had to assist and carry them. We are 4 female doctors here, along with nurses. Across all wards, there are about 100 admitted patients, and we have around 12 beds here, maybe a few more or less. Out of those 100, nearly 50 are women. Some wards also have admitted patients. The ones we have here are mostly pregnant women. Among the patients who arrived from Kunar, around 50 are female.
We were all in deep, peaceful sleep when, around 11 or 12 o'clock, a sudden tremor struck and the world turned upside down. Some of my children were trapped inside the room, some of us were on the veranda, and my husband somehow survived, God knows how. Stones had fallen on me, and I was screaming, thinking I was going to die. My husband, along with 2 of my brother-in-law's sons, had survived. Another nephew was elsewhere, but he came too. They lifted the stones off me and rescued me. The other children, who were inside the room, they were buried under the rubble. They didn't survive.
Полицейская мигалка землетрясения в Афганистане. Более 1400 погибших. В Афганистане произошла страшная трагедия. По данным, опубликованным правительством Талибана, мощное землетрясение унесло жизни более 1400 человек. Сотни домов были разрушены, тысячи людей остались без крыши над головой. Эпицентр подземных толчков находился в горных районах, где инфраструктура крайне слабая, а спасательные службы работают с большими трудностями. В некоторых деревнях разрушены почти все здания, и люди вынуждены самостоятельно разбирать завалы в поисках выживших. Местные власти обратились за международной помощью, так как ресурсов внутри страны катастрофически не хватает. Спасатели и врачи делают все возможное, чтобы помочь пострадавшим, однако масштабы разрушений слишком велики. Эта трагедия еще раз показала, насколько уязвимы люди перед стихией, особенно в странах, где уже долгие годы продолжаются войны и экономический кризис. Человек со сложенными кистями рук ладонями внутрь, пусть погибшие упокоятся с миром, а их семьи обретут силы пережить это горе.